Well, it's another week of Bible readings. In fact, it is now week 32. Yeah, week 32 of our overview readings as we go through the Bible chronologically in 2023. This week, just two books. One, a minor prophet, that's Zephaniah, and then we begin reading through Jeremiah, which is substantial material. But let's talk first about Zephaniah. Just three little chapters. This prophet who prophesied during the days of King Josiah. Now, King Josiah was very young when he took the throne. He was 8, as a matter of fact, when he became king of Judah, that being the southern kingdom. There is speculation that Zephaniah would have been preaching and Josiah would have heard him. Now, Josiah reigned from 640 BC to 609 BC, and Zephaniah is going to prophesy somewhere during that time period. But if Zephaniah, in fact, was the one preaching and influencing Josiah, well, you see how Josiah responded to the Lord. From a young age, he wanted to know the Lord and wanted to follow him. And it was during his reign, and we talked about this last week, when the book of the law was found and God brought about national revival there in the southern kingdom. So, as you're reading Zephaniah, look especially for the promises concerning the remnant, and I think even maybe an allusion to the Messiah in chapter 3, verse 17. But there is an aspect of Zephaniah that you've got to consider. He talks about the day of the Lord. Now, I think this particular day of the Lord is in reference to what is going to happen in 586 BC when Nebuchadnezzar leads the Babylonians over Jerusalem and the southern kingdom is taken into exile. That moves us into Jeremiah's prophecy. Now, Jeremiah also is prophesying during the days of King Josiah. So he and Zephaniah are contemporaries. But he prophesies for over 5 decades. So he just does this part of the time during the reign of Josiah. Much of his prophecy is stern. It really is. In fact, as you read the book of Jeremiah, and these are lengthy chapters, you're going to probably come away saying, man, this is really heavy stuff. And how angry is the Lord with his people? Well, he's very angry because even though he brought about national revival, it didn't take long for them to go back to idolatry. So deeply in their idolatry did they go that they were sacrificing their children by offering them in fire. Yeah, that's how bad it got in the southern kingdom. So the prophecy needs to be stern because God is confronting his people. And not only that, but his people have ignored the Sabbath year, which occurs every 7th year. They did that 70 times. And we're going to look more into this when we come to 2 Chronicles. But Jeremiah is going to be prophesying about how God is going to take the people into captivity for 70 years. And one of the other things that you're going to notice in this book, there are plenty of prophets who are ready to preach, but they are not proclaiming what God wants them to proclaim. They are telling the people exactly what they want to hear. And we know in our day it's not much different. But thankfully, Jeremiah is a faithful prophet. He is threatened by his own family, threatened by religious leaders, and even beaten and incarcerated. He goes through a lot of difficult things, yet he remains true to the Lord. Now, he does have his moments of questioning. In fact, there's one section where it's going to sound a lot like Job. But imagine if you were going through what he was going through, you might respond the same way. But that'll get you through chapter 22. I hope it's a great week, and may the Lord bless you in it, and may you behold him and respond to him in right worship.